Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we're back on the Drone Age dev server, and it's time to have a look at a new premium vehicle which is coming in for the Soviets. This is the Blagorodnyy, and it is a new destroyer which is coming in. It's very similar to some of the other ones that we already have, the Spokojny at the good old 5.0 and the new Trashemy at 5.02. It's going to be very similar to those guys. We have the PR41, the PR56, and of course the Blagorodnyy is also a PR56, so it's similar to the Spokojny. And it's so hard for me to say the name. But anyway, so this is a destroyer. It has the same setup as the one in the tech tree. It has two dual mounted 130mm, one set on the front and one set on the back, which may not seem too good, but if you've actually used similar machines to this, you realize the fire rate on these at 15 rounds per minute is fantastically good. And then also it has this fire director for them, which finds the calculation for the fire solution for 100% accuracy after 6 seconds, and also the update time is 3 seconds, so you can keep pumping damage really quickly with the machine, and it works fantastically well. It also has the backup 45s. The secondary armament is 4 quad sets of 45mm. You've got 2 here, 1 on the back and then 1 on the front. Then 2 dual 25mm as well, which back those up as kind of extra armament, but that's really not going to do too much. The main secondary is of course the 45s. Has some torpedoes in the center as well. It has 5 of the 533 ones. These travel 18 kilometers, which is pretty nice, and also 83 kilometers an hour, which is not crazy slow, but not crazy fast either. It also has access to a bunch of mortars. I found that these are pretty useful on certain machines, like the SKR7. They're pretty nice, but these are not the ones which are on the SKR7. These ones have a lot lower range. You can find them here on the front of the machine and also in other areas, but I would probably not bother with these ones. I think just stick with the torpedoes and you should be pretty good. Looking at the general modifications, the vehicle has access to HE as a stock shell, but remember this is a premium, so you get all the mods for free. It also has the SAP BC shell and the HEVT. Usually I run the SAPC BC to be able to kill destroyers and cruisers by ammo racking them, and then use the HEVT against smaller machines and also against planes. With the radar that this thing has, because it also has a radar on top of the fire director, this one right here, the search radar, it can be very deadly, the 130mm, against planes that are coming in as well. The 45mm are universal. They have hef, so they're not good against anything with armor, but anything such as planes or smaller boats, they do a ton of damage to, so they can work fantastically well. The actual defense of this machine is not great. There's a little bit of armor here and there on some of the parts of it, but the main hull armor is 16mm, so pretty standard for most destroyers, and also has a 4mm superstructure. So it's going to be pretty easy to pen if you actually want to. The guns for the 130s, they actually have pretty small ammo racks, so they're kind of hard to hit. The main ammo racks are actually in the back here and also in the center where these 45s are. If you make these pop, it can destroy this whole area, which can be very devastating. But hitting the shell rooms for the 130s, they're a lot smaller than other vehicles, so it's kind of hard to hit them. The first stage ammo stowage also is quite big on this. The ready use is 100, so both guns can fire 50 before you go to those 12 rounds per minute, so you can usually kill 1 or 2 or maybe 3 targets with that before pushing on, which can work fantastically well with the vehicle. But yeah, I really like this one, and also at 5.0 you have like this collection of vehicles. Now they're pushing up the Krasny Krim because they are going up to 7.0, so the 5.0 lineup won't be as good, but you still have the Kavkat, which if you hit with the 180s and you hit ammo racks, it just pops vehicles, which is very satisfying. The Spokojny, which is basically the same as the Blagorodnyy, which really works very well. And then also the Tashkent isn't terrible, you know, 3 dual mounted 130s, just quite a slow fire rate, which is the main problem. The machine as well is pretty quick. Its survivability from its crew is not the best, but it can move around the water very fast, which is really nice on the machine. And it's just generally a pretty fun destroyer. One of the things about destroyers in general is they do have a little bit of an issue with facing stuff like American destroyers, because American ones can put out so much firepower, but this one doesn't have that issue really. Because of the fact that it can fire back as quickly and as deadly as the 5.0s that you find around the place. But the 45s are okay, I suppose, against stuff such as planes. If the planes get close enough, you can see the 25mm firing there. If the 45 connects even once with a plane, they usually get taken out, which is quite nice. And with the other ones, the 130s, they can just kind of pop targets. I do have DLSS on, by the way, so that's why it looks a little bit fuzzy. In the game itself, if you have DLSS off, it doesn't look as fuzzy, but you can see some of the new animations there on the vehicle. So let's say you want to shoot at this target over here. It's a German destroyer, so it's going to take a while to be able to measure the range. Look how quickly it measures the range for you with the machine, and look how quickly it updates the range as well as you are moving in. It's absolutely fantastic. It just means that you can get accurate shots constantly on the machines, and then you can also one-tap the ammunition and make the thing go boom. So yeah, it's so that was a bit of a lucky one. But I have really enjoyed this part of the tech tree for the Soviets. I didn't think I would, because I looked at stuff like the Krasnys and I was like, oh, you know, they're pretty slow. They don't have the best mobility. They don't have the best you know, reload and stuff like that. But I actually vastly enjoyed the Spokojny. I didn't really understand why it went up in BR when it did, but when I started playing it, I realized these main battery, just like stuff like the Mitcher and things, because it updates so quick, the main battery is super deadly to pretty much anything that it faces. The SKR-7 has a similar role as well, where it can just keep pumping out damage over and over and over again, and it just works just so well. And the fact that you've got good speed, the fact that you've got, you know, good 45s as backup against lower things, and the fact that you have AP and HEVT means that you can cause fires, or you can cause just general destruction. You can just have a wonderful time in it. And it's kind of sad that they took away the new Trashemy, because the new Trashemy used to do that. The new Trashemy was the vehicle which would back up the Spokojny, but now this is in the game, which is probably why they removed the new Trashemy, so they could actually sell this thing. It fills a very similar role to it, so definitely worth having a look at if you are interested in grinding out this Soviet tree. They've also just moved up a lot of BRs to 7.0 now, so what that basically means is 5.7s will start getting popular again, and there's some really good 5.7 cruisers, so that may also be something to look at when it comes to the November sale. Hopefully you enjoy this vehicle if you pick it up. I would recommend it. I really like this style of destroyer for the Soviets. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Nicholas Richardson, Elove Goat, Pyman675, Winter Scientist, Merciless Reaper, Jerry Prevolt, Megadino King, Orange Tail, Teddy, John Ryman, Universe, Ambrosius McClellan, Daniel Stanton, Moxie, B. Young, Uncle Bean, Sem Arslan, Derek R., Bareen, Lafouche, and Samuel Slick for supporting the channel.